Hello my friends, so in this video I want to show you the full process in SimplyCloth Pro, how to start, how to model clothes, how to sewing them and all that stuff which is important in the beginning. And in additional I will show how to use the extra features I have here created for you with a specific workflow. So I had many questions about how to use here and there, and I tried to show you in this video how we can achieve the time saving factor and how to think in Blender to create clothes. Let's start. So here we have our collision object. This will be our female character with no cloth, with no collision, nothing on it. So for this we can easily start by searching for patterns or reference images, what we like and what we want to create. We can first model and do the clothing stuff directly, but I will start from zero. So we will start modeling the clothes in the way how it should do, how it should be done. So let's start. First of all, we add a mesh, a plane. Over shortcut Shift and A, you can add this menu and select the needed object you want, or you just go here over and select plane. So I want to rotate it first. So we're working from here. I rotate it in the x-axis by 90 degrees. And I make sure it is in the center. So yes, it should be around the center. So then I go over here. And for the first, I like to show you with the mirror modifier, so we don't make all the work twice. We go here and add the mirror modifier, and the same will be in Blender 4.0 and higher. So just go to modifier and write mirror or search it in the new category tab, and then you start. So here I like to check through the clipping checkbox. So if the object is going in edit mode, like if I hit tab, I can switch to edit mode and object mode. I go to edit mode, and if I merge them here together, it is merged, you see? It is now not separated anymore, it's like one object. So I don't want this at this moment. I just want to make it separate like this. And now I can check it on. Then I go and model our needed clothes. So I like to start with the shirt for this woman, and I go somewhere like here. So here we need to understand how the current sewing patterns are created, how we can work with them, and they should wrap around the body, of course. So we need to think about a margin here or an offset. I don't know how to call it correctly, but we will do it directly here. So we start first modeling the base shape, and then I like easy going, just extrude with E and scale it up or down, sorry, down here. And I think in this part we just created the base. So easy it is. Of course, it's not that fast. I like to add loop cuts here and there, and be aware about the breast sizes of your characters. If you have a woman, if you have a man with muscles, you need to be aware of it. You will see it in the next point, of course. So we just make like a raw shape of what we want. And I think here will be okay. And then I want to have a nice U form here. So I make something like that first, and here of course too. And this is very easy way now, and not that high resolution, but we will turn it into high resolution later. So this is very slow showing part how to make this. So I like to make it like this. I select the knife tool with K and make like a cut around here and hit enter. The same here. K, select, and around here. So we can adjust by selecting the edges with 1, 2, the vertex points with 1. If I hit 2 on the keyboard, we can select edges, and 3 faces. I just select 1 edges, vertex points, and slide them around a bit. So we have a nice and clean shape, which is going a bit with the forms here. And don't worry about these triangles; they don't make any issues for us. So if I'm happy with it, I can check the face orientation here. And with this overlay in the edit mode, we can check it very fast. So if our mesh is like flipped and we don't notice it during the modeling, we check it first. Just select one part of the object and hit this button, so it will fix it for you. So if you like this, do not intersect these parts or whatever you do, never intersect with the collision object. So we need to have a bit of space between the collision and the cloth object. So I think with this we can go forward. So if I duplicate it in edit mode, Shift D, grab it in the Y axis, and in this process it could happen the faces are flipped. So we check again face orientation and we see correct, and this is not good. So we just easy flip this. That's easy. It's very easy for this part. So, and now we have clipping on, and this back part should be clipped, and we can turn off the face orientation. And now we can adjust this object here if you want. Just grab in Z and X axis and try to fit it to the back part. So what we can do else is we can extrude, and it will merge here. We can delete this edge and close it here. Double G, and we can slide it around here. And I go front view in the numpad and then 9. So we have a base like this. So I think for the first it will be okay. Here I want to adjust it this way. And now we can start. So I think this is the first base of it. I will save it first. I can duplicate it, of course, and move it here just for backup. And here I like to apply the mirror modifier. So we have now this mesh. And here we can start working from. So I select all, and I want more resolution. This is very important to get nice cloth wrinkles and cloth effects. So we just go here in the edit selection part and subdivide it. And this resolution should be enough to work with. Sometimes it's too low, but in the most case for starting, it's totally fine. And from here we can create our sewings and all that stuff. If I go more, we will get this nice resolution, but it could be a bit slower in the simulation, but we can work with this, of course. So I go in the edge mode. So I will select the edges by holding Alt and select this part. Alt and Shift and select this part. But we don't want the sewing have here in this area. So we go in the front view. We toggle the X-ray, or what I like to do is this. And with the circle select and middle mouse, I deselect these areas, what we don't need. And perhaps you noticed something here. We have selected, and what we needed here, this information, I will show you and describe you for what this is. So if I hit sew, it will sew it. So now I will show you this information here. So if we select these parts, we have 4 edges selected. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we need 8. So sometimes people make this, and we have 7, and then we have bad sewing. But if we see it here, 8 selected, now it's correct. So if we select this, we have 4 selected, but we need 8. And we select this here, when we have the 8 here, we easily can sew them. So we have a small hint how to sew them correctly. The same here. And what you can do else is, if you have same cloth mesh like this, I go in X-ray, go in the vertex mode, and then I can select it like this. You can select it without holding Alt and all that stuff. You just select the sewing lines, what you need. Then you check it, and we see, oh, it's not correct here. This should be fine. And hit sew. And that's it in this case. What we totally missed is the point about this part here. But don't worry, we will check it now. So I create SimplyCloth, and here we have all the settings. I will go through all, but first of all we want the swings. Checking here, we turn it on. Force we can set up to 5 and check. If I hit play, it should be simulating and falling down. This is because we have no collision with the character. So we need to select it, go to this part collision and add collision, that's it. We can play with the friction, so now it will be very slidey, it will slide around over the mesh. If we have here, it will not slide, it will be like no friction, or the friction is so high it can't slide through the body. So you can test around like this and then play again and test, and we see something is happening, but it is falling down that fast. This could happen if we make first the sewings and then create SimplyCloth. But don't worry about this. We just grab it and put it higher. And we can also reduce the speed. Yeah, so it will be like this. And from here we can start working. It should be, it is like the first time, oh, it is so much. No, it's not that much. It's that much because I'm talking and describing how to use it. So I want to merge this. What we can do is I hold Shift and Control and select this, so it will select only these parts. The same here, Shift holding to not lose the selection, and go here over and sew them. Or we can sew bridge edge loops like this. That's fine too. So what you want, I want to test it like this. And so we have in the first try our cloth. So this is extra shaded in the flat shading mode. So many people don't like it if it's already shaded smooth. And of course you can add additionally a subdivision modifier to get this view. I am in struggle how to make it easier for the users in the next version. So that's why I'm turned off at the moment I recorded this video. Perhaps it's next time already in. We need to check. And we'll see, we did a great job. We did a great job because it's fit here correctly. And don't worry about these gaps. These gaps are totally fine. So we can see it better here. I think the base of it is already nice, but some people want to have a tiny, tight cloth, so it should be tight with the body. So we can check it here, and we see it's not tight, it's like loose here. So if we check it here, it's loose, it's not that tight. We can play with the shrinking factor here. So here I will show you all the values now. Of course, we can select a preset and test it like silk, how it will affect here. But we have already here very, very loose object, yeah? If I have elastic smooth, what will happen? Oh, it's very elastic. You see how elastic this is. But it's good for some points. If we have heavy silk, you see how heavy it is falling, you feel it a bit. It's not perfect, the presets are not perfect, but they give you a good starting point to work with the cloth simulation. So I just want to have cotton, and very, very easy way. So we can play with the shrink factor here, and we put it a bit higher, and you see the cloth is shrinking till it's break down. So if I start with the shrinking factor, it will directly shrink in the first frame. You see, in the first frame, it's shrinking, and then you try to simulate, and you got fully mess. I do not recommend it to use it that way. Use it slowly. Or if we want to have this tight, what I told you here, we can select this front part, activate the proportional editing, connect it only, and scale it in the x-axis only, like this. Yeah, so like this we can test it. Now you see it's a bit tighten here, but not that much. But for this we have a different workflow solution, so don't worry about to struggle it here. You can easily scale up and down like this and test again, or like this. So this is smaller than the back part, which could help, of course. But then you will see the gaps are not closing. So we need to scale them a bit, of course, like this. And play and start and reset and play again. But now we have this tightened part. So what you can do here now is we can scale up this part in the front and move this top part higher. So like this. And I grab it in the Z axis and push it like here. I use this, or perhaps this I think will be better, and scale an X a bit higher. Something like that. But we need here more, I think. Something like this. And it will be tight. Not perfect, but okay, we can adjust it later. But here you see how it is like working. So we can easily adjust our cloth in the edit mode. Play around, just play around. Yes. If we want more weight, we just easily can do this in the weight section here. So you see how it is 10 kilograms, it's so much, 5. You feel it, it's falling that fast. So we put it a bit higher. Yes, but it's not needed every time. So we leave it like 1 kilo is too much, but it's okay here now. Then we have the strengthen part. I will show you this in other example. This will more like strengthen specialized areas if you select them. We have the stiffness. We can see it directly here. If I set it 0, you see the stiffness is no stiffness. It's just like a how it called elastic material. And if you have full stiffness, it will very bad for sewing. So we need to increase the force, but it's very stiff. So it could affect in the simulation by flickering here. So I think depending on the values here, you can play with. This is the stiffness. You can of course use it directly here and make it stiff. During the simulation, you see more wrinkles appear and less wrinkles, depending on what you do. Next point will be folds. So folds is like, you will see it more in the beginning. I think the folds section. This is depending on, if I turn it off, it's depending on the resolution, of course. If you have more resolution, you will see more foldings or more like noise on the object, on the cloth object. So we don't need this. And of course, I will show you the friction part. You see here, if I turn it down, it will more slide. You will see more sliding. And if I put it high, check it out. It's less sliding. So it's holding the object more. So it's depending what you need. The wrinkles part here, you will see if I have less wrinkles, the wrinkles will be bigger. So it is less wrinkles in this case. So you see it's more like leatherish. If I have fully wrinkles, it should create more smaller wrinkles. But in this resolution, we have low resolution here. You will not notice it that much. I will show you this in the other triangulation part. Then you will understand how the parameters affect depending on the resolution. This is very important to understand. And of course, we have the smoothing here. It will like smooth the clothes. Sometimes you need to have clean clothes like this, but the shape should be there. You can adjust it during the simulation or after the simulation, depending on what you need. The shrink I show you already. We can go to negative value and let grow this object. But we don't need this in this case. And what you notice here is like an intersection between the cloth itself. So for this, you just open the collision part of the cloth object and set up self-collision. That's it. So the performance would be a bit slower, but you have no intersection anymore between your clothes. So a bit could happen, but not that much. So depending on the distance, of course, and the quality steps. So if we make 30, you will see how it is affecting. And it's not that fast sliding down the body, you see here, but we have better results here in the wrinkle section and all that stuff. So we need less friction, so the clothes can slide down correctly. And the next point will be if I want to shrink some parts. This is the vertex shrink here. I show you here how it is created. You go in edit mode, and for example, you want to have a nice shrinking factor in this area. you just select the faces, go over to the extras, and here you find the extras: strengthen, shrink, and paint pressure. We don't need pressure at this moment, so we just hit shrink. And that's it. So you can check out the weights. If we select the shrink vertex group, we see it is applied. We go again to object mode, and now you will notice this vertex shrink parameter will slowly slide up, and this will affect our shrinking in this area. So notice here, slowly, then it is shrinking. So in our case here, it's not that much shrinking. We have 0.5. We can go to the timeline and check here in frame 30. You can adjust it to higher value and replace the keyframe. So let's check again. Now it is shrinking in this area so much more. Sometimes we need this. So you can afterwards add here a button, and it will look like, oh, there's a button which is shrinking in this part. And here we have so much wrinkles. I perhaps don't want them. So what we can do here, we can go here and select around this area. Go to extras again and strengthen this part. So we have the strengthened vertex groups selected, and it shows us the weights of the simply strength vertex group. So now this will be strength. And now let's check this. We have a base value here of 20. So it should have much wrinkles now. But if I increase this value here, it should strengthen it out. So you will notice it perhaps if we are faster. If we set up here, now you have more strengthened parts and less wrinkles. But if you have too much wrinkles, you see here, it's only this part. So if we, I don't know, is here an option or not to show us the current weights, but I think we have selected less of them. So we need to select this part too. And this, and add this to simply strengthen, or just easy hit here this button and test it again with higher value. You see the wrinkles are not that small. It's more like lower res wrinkles, but you can of course slide this down to here and you have bigger wrinkles. So it's not that detailed. Perhaps the stiffness you can play with, and then you get these results. But this is too strengthened. You see, it's too much. It's too much, and it's create awful results. So again, we set up the value down, play with the wrinkles parameters and the stiffness. Now it's okay. It's not too much and not too less. So this is the way if I describe you how it should be used. So this was the parameters. Of course, you can play with the gravity. If I have like gravity 2, it will fall faster and stronger. You can simulate the weight, of course, of the clothes with gravity, or you have 0, 1. So let's check. It will be like flying around more till it is falling down. So it's of course depending on what you need. Yes, and in this point we can jump over to the next step. I don't want to have this shrinking value, so I go to this vertex shrink parameter and delete or clear the keyframes and set it to 0. So it will not shrink anymore at this point. So we have a basic regular cloth. with less wrinkles, I see. So you see it is like leatherish. We need more wrinkles, more stiffness perhaps, and the gravity is too slow. We set it to 1. So the main values and the default values are correct and easy to start with. So we have something like this here. And I want to test now a higher resolution. So in this case, I would recommend a bit higher resolution to get a t-shirt like, which is a bit tightened to the body effect. And we have some pin groups here. We don't need this. I will show you in later. And cloth enhancement, I will show you afterwards. So we save it first and go over to the next step. So if we are happy with these base results, like we have achieved here, and it's all fine and we are happy and it is good for working now, we just duplicate it. I duplicate it and put it here. And I deactivate this cloth object. So it will not affect in the performance and the calculation during the cloth simulation. So we are working with this. And of course you can set up the name. So we have the first object, it was the base model. The second will be base cloth object. And this is our testing. So I leave it like this, plain. And with this testing object, we can play around and try to achieve more details, more realism into this object. Instead, this is not a perfect cloth pattern. It's a very unprofessional way to create this pattern. So this is very easy and good result solution. So if we want to have ultra realistic results, we need, of course, to use real references and real cut and swing patterns. You can buy books or make them yourself and draw into images and all that stuff, or you Google some of the cut and swing patterns, how to make each part, and then you can swing them. But this is only the base I show you here. So if we have this object here, we see in the wireframe view our resolution. I save, of course, during the recording. So if we have some crashes, we can have this backup here. And the next point will be, we have our close object. It's very nice, we like it, and we want to have more details here. And we go to the triangulation remesh. And here I have created an easy solution for get better details, but the topology will break down a bit. So what we do first here is, if we want to add textures later here, we should done it here, but I missed it to tell you. We just make UV swing lines. So if we have here, you see, what is this? It's not nice. I recommend easy way here to select mesh bounds like this, and then Control A and mark seams, and that's it. I select all, hit U and unwrap it. So we have here in our UV clean object view of our cut and swing patterns. So this is called cut and swing patterns, and if the cloth is sewed to the object, to the character, it is the cloth object, it's the finished one. So we want to start with, we want to have these clean patterns, so if it is wrapping around, the structure will not be the same, and you have too much struggle to create the UV maps afterwards. So I recommend it to make it like this first, and then we can close it again. And again, save. And if we start here with the simply triangulation, you have here this resolution, and it is like from 1 to 3. one will be like low resolution, it will be like this resolution. 2 will be a bit higher resolution, and 3 it's ultra high res. I do not recommend to use it directly. So let's start in 2, and then you have the options to rotate faces. So these faces will be rotated, and you will have a different pattern topology here. And triangulate will completely triangulate it, and then topo triangulation will create a bit different, but we can slowly start from rotate faces. Just here, and you see what is happening here. I turn off the overlay for weights, we don't need them, and wireframe. So we have a better view here. So you see our clothes faces are rotated, but the edges are the same. So it will not affect the sewings at this moment. And we test it directly. And you see it's a bit slower. We have a bit shading issues here and there, but we have a bit higher resolution of the wrinkles. So sometimes this is enough, but I don't like the shading of it. It's not every time this, so you need to prepare the shadings, of course, the topology of your clothes object, but we have more realistic wrinkles here. This will be this view with rotated faces. So what is if I don't want this? I go slowly and go backwards in the in the process, and we try the next step. Not rotate faces, we want to triangulate. So if we triangulate it, it took a bit more, but we have a different pattern here. But this could create better looking object. So it will, of course, destroy the topology here and there, but it will have better realistic wrinkles. So sometimes this is important to have. So you can do retopo afterwards, but you will see here much more details. But again, the shading is like triangulated, how it's called, and we need to smooth it out in the, like here, we can smooth it out in the cloth parameters, or we add it in subdivision modifier, a second one, like 2 times. But in this way, we will get these shading issues. Or you go over to sculpt mode and fix it by hand. So this will be this part. So it's triangulated. And then we have the topo triangulation. I will show you it here. So we go backwards again. And of course I could duplicate it and show you each by each, but I think you understand the point here. So sometimes we need to have different objects. So, and we have the topo, and we see it's a different pattern. Yeah, so it could, so if we turn off the wireframe and the weights is turned off, we have this triangulation. It's different, it's all different, so we need to test it till we are happy with it. Shade smooth, and then you see, oh, this is okay. But of course, be aware of the shading part. So it will create this shading here. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not that good. But it's the point, this is the main point. So, and now I will show you how it will look like if we make a higher resolution object. So I go back, and back here and there. And now we go from object mode, from this, in higher resolution, and triangulate it. Here we will see higher dense object, and you'll see it's calculating. But this is very, very dangerous sometimes, depending on your computer, of course. It is ultra high resolution, but it has nice patterns, but it's not clean. We have here these points. I am working on a different solution for this, so we have a clean topology. But for this is totally fine. But you will see in the simulation part, directly in the first few frames, how clean the wrinkles are created, but the performance is very, very bad. So it's depending on what you do. So if you do it once like this and you are happy with the base results after this simulation, you can apply it and play with the object however you want. But for making more clothes that way, it will have big struggling afterwards. So you see how nice the wrinkles are created depending on the high resolution and the triangulation. And you see how it is falling down. It's very, very nice. It's a realistic way. And here how it's stretching. You can adjust it afterwards in the sculpt mode or object mode, or play during what I told you already here. We can slowly fix it like this, so we have clean object anyway. But for now we leave it like this. But here we have, of course, the most realistic results. What I recommend to do afterwards is to retopology it, or use retopology tools like Quad Remesh and some other Dyntopo Remesh and all that stuff. So this is the points here. So I close it first. I take this again, duplicate it and activate it. So it's inactive. I hit here, and then we have our cloth, what we created before. And if you like this main result here, oh, it's a bit stretched away. That's I noticed. Sorry, I tried to put it here back in the center. Oh man, I'm sorry. It's already in center. I don't put it in center here. So now, yes, we have better symmetry. What you can do here is, of course, we have the duplicated object for our backup. We just go to edit mode and select what we need and subdivide it that way. So we have a high resolution, but quad based. In front we need, perhaps in back we need 2, depending on what you selected. And let's try this. And sometimes this high resolution quad-based topology is enough to create very nice results. So it's depending on what you need. The backup we have here, and now we can play with this, of course. And we have also good results in this part. And I think we can go with this. We have nice wrinkles, we have good topology, and we have good stretchings here and there, where we can finish our cloth. So here I see I need to smooth it out in sculpt mode, and here too, and not big issues we have here. It's the own small issue, how it could called. So if I like this result, we go over to finish cloth. And Of course, I need to save it first. And here we can finalize our cloth by just hitting this button. Or we can go from here to sculpt cloth directly, or apply it for animation. So it will be cloth already, but it will be like finished clothes ready for animation without setting up other stuff. So if I finish and apply clothes, it will remove or apply some of these modifiers here. But I want to finish first. And then we got this question, apply subdivision and solidify modifier. So if I go back and show you the solidify modifier, you will find it in cloth modifiers. And we have here solidify. And you see, we don't need this solidify applied. So if I put here, we can have good base results during the viewport, and it's good, but I don't want to apply it first, yeah? So we don't need this to apply. We go again, finish cloth, nothing apply, not the subdivision, nothing, just hit OK. And that's it. You go automatically to edit mode to close the sewing holes. This is these parts. And because of the subdivision we did before, without redo the sewings, we have these gaps here. Like these are with no edges. What you can do now is just we turn off the extras first. Oh no, we don't need to turn off them. We just easy can slide our, we go to sewing and slide our fill holes, and it will fill all these holes, but we get this bad topology. So this will be like one face. Yeah, I don't like this. So we remove first the sewings. So all are removed. And now it's important. If I turn off the subdivision modifier in edit mode here, we can start closing the holes, the sewing holes. So if I select this with Alt and this, I go in X-ray view and I turn off the arms here from this. Just hit C for circle select. And now it should be finished here. And just easy close selection. That's it. What I like to do is, if I close this selection, I just want to mark the seam for later purposes. I will show you, of course, too. The same here. We select it and close selection and mark seam. So perhaps I will add this directly in this button, but I need to test it more. But for now, you need to do it like this if you want. X-ray. I don't need this part. Perhaps I deselect too much. No, it's perfect. Yes, it's okay. Okay. And that's it. So we have a closed object with nice topology. Really nice quad-based topology. So here and there we can fix it here. So we don't need the dissolve edges. We can do it, or you can select it in a direction or the length, I think. No. If you hit Shift G, you can select the same way. No. Face regions, no. You need to test. So I think the direction is correct. Just dissolve these edges, direction, and dissolve if you want to do it. But for now, it's okay. I save it again. And from here, we can go to the next steps. So people think, that's it. Now you have this solidify object and now you're ready. No, you're not ready. You can add, of course, a subdivision modifier, and before the solidify modifier, or afterwards, depending on what you need, of course. So we have here now two-sided object and then you add the subdivision modifier, it is taking very much performance. So I like to do it before and then easy adjust the thickness of it. So it depending on your processor and your knowledge at this point. So from here, I save again and go to sculpt mode. Here we have nice preset brushes I created, which is just selecting the correct brush and all that stuff. And I want to smooth this out here. So just hold Shift and click to the needed points. And that's it. This is enough. Not too much. And we check slowly some parts here and there. And just one click, holding Shift and one click to smooth it out. It's perhaps too much. If this is too much of smoothing, you just select the smooth brush and put the strength to a lower value. And then it's not that hard. But in general, I'm really happy. I don't like this part, so I smooth it out. And if I want, I can use drag brush and make more wrinkles like this. So if some parts are not how you want, you can make this. You can pinch. You can do it before what we do it here, but it will not work with the collision at this moment. We can grab and select all these buttons, presets, brushes. So if we have this edge, we can use only these edges. So depending on what you need. Scale, twist. So if we can twist it here. So you see, if we want to have a specialized pose, we can do it with this, these brushes. But we don't nothing from here now. So this is okay for now. So we don't need to have more in this direction. So I save it, and this could be our first object from here to the swing and the finished top. Yes, this is the main part. If you understand this without all the talking I have, you will be very fast and save so much time. So the next step will be how to use the new features. So I don't want to have our woman here in this clothes set. I want to have a bit more. So what I do here is I just put this clothes over here, save it, and now I want to create very fast and very easy tight pants or shirt and whatever. So what can we do here? We easy select our clothes or character collision object, and we can draw the clothes sets. It will be like this. I hit F for size to change the size of the brush. I go in front view, and if I click, it will create a color like this. Yeah. So, and if I draw and not release the mouse button, it will draw in this color. And then I want to draw the back part, and most people make this mistake. They draw here and we have two different colors. This is because of the face sets creates here, draw face sets. We want to have this one face set to have one mesh at the end. So I hold Control, go to the point where the color is from the first drawing, like here. And if I draw now and click, it will take this face set color and I can draw. But what happens if I click here, it will take the green one. And if I go to the nothing draw part, it will just remove this. It's a very easy and nice way to adjust our points and drawings, but I want to have all this. And for this we are finished, but I need to inform you in some points. We have here our collision object with a good topology. It's a very nice topology. You need to be aware of, make a duplicate of it first. I put it there. But because if we use the face sets, draw close sets here, and now we want to smoothen out these face sets, or in this case we don't need this, but here and there, and I hit, like you will see it here, I will hold Shift and smooth our selection. You see how nice it will look, very nice, but it is destroying our topology in this part. So be aware of this and recheck it. So if we make this, you see the topology of our collision object will be destroyed, like in this way. It's not destroyed, it's more like reposition it, but you need to be aware of this. So some people are talking about, hey, the topology is gone. Yes, because of the smoothing. So, and if I want to have details like, what can we take here? We draw here, yeah, and hold, control this, make specialized areas, and perhaps here could be okay, I think, depending on what you want. So just draw here. So these parts will not be included in our object if I make a tight band from here. So if you do all this and created your patterns or your drawings, be aware, here you see it. And now we want to extract this drawing to our cloth object. Just hit this button and select this drawed face set to get this object. And this is the first part. You want to have a better quality here. You need to hit this button afterwards. Simply skin tight. And then you have the clean object here, but a bit of intersection. But don't worry about this. You can play with the solidify, adjust it here. And you have already all needed points for our cloth enhancement, which I added in the last update. So, and this will give us the points to add more details. How I can call it? We have the wrinkles here directly. We can play with the scaling and we see nothing. This is because the intensity here, we can adjust the intensity of the wrinkles, or we'll set up the global intensity. So you see nothing happen here, very low, but this is for one reason. We have different types of adding details here. We have the bounding edges, the triangulated topology, and the wrinkles, and the animated wrinkles. So if I give more wrinkles like this, and I want different wrinkles, you see here, we can play with the scale. So we can have low res wrinkles, and you play with this. You see how low they are. If we get more and more, it will be like a mess. So what is possible? So I like to leave it like lower values, play with the scaling till you like it. And here I don't like the topology, so we can adjust it by just select it and create fill. So it will not create this strange wrinkles in this area. So we have the scale here, the intensity, and now we can animate the wrinkles. And you will see this in the animation. So it is real-time animating and not close simulation. You see how it is affecting. But we don't need this here. This is one part. I like to have very tight close here. And we don't need more at this point. So this is just our basic. What we can do here is we go and select some specialized parts. Like we can make it here and here. And what can we do here? The sides are important. These sides. Yes, it's okay. This we select first of all. And what I show you here is you can add these parts in same way to our top of the body, what we created before. So I want to make sure we make the same here. I mark them as sharp. And what I do here is I want to add more details. So I divide it. And then we go back to close enhancement. I select all our similar themes. And then I add them to this sign. And what you will see here is we got extras and we have more wrinkles because of more resolution, of course. So if I leave it in 0, set up the global intensity to 1 or 2, you will notice these points. Like this. We can play with the swing, what we created now. We selected them, added them to this part, and we can easily add more details if you want, just by subdivide it. Now we get better looking swings, but here you need to be aware, of course, again for the topology. So depending on what you need, you can adjust the wrinkles. But it's too much now. It's too much, really too much. And the clothes is looking like not on pants. So here we need again our smoothing. Smoothing, and put it like afterwards here. First here in the first layer, and I apply it. And from here we have better control. And I don't like the wrinkles part anymore. You see here the scale, how this is affecting intensity. So depending on what you need, I recommend to play with the scale and all that stuff. But yes, this is all if you want. And now we go over here. This was this part. And just scale it a bit. And we can do it the same here. So we don't paint it. So if I can go from edge mode and I want to select only these parts. Like a shirt. And here should be our marker seam. And then I can just hit L. Oh, we need to check, of course. There is an issue I created here. So if we have separated the topology in these seams, we can select this part only, like for example, this part with L linked till the swing or this here. So we have directly our t-shirt. And from here, we go in the edit mode, not in sculpt mode. We don't draw anything here. We go from here and hit skin tight. And that's it in this part. And here we have the option, of course, the shrink offset. And now we have the shirt very fast. We have our clothes here. And we can do it with the face sets drawing or without. So with this option from edit mode, you don't do not destroy the topology. It's all directly here. So depending on what you need, you can use it. So now we have the clothes here, and we have here directly our options to add wrinkles, you see? Like this. More wrinkles, less wrinkles, higher scale and all that stuff. We can add details. We can make bounding edges with randomized offset and like random edges select. Like you will see this if you have randomized it. Otherwise, you will get this view. You can play around with and set up the gravity lower, higher. It's not perfect here in this area. I have some issues created here, but this is because of the offset, I think. Yes. And we can edit the same points here for our clothes. So we have these swings already, and I just hit this button. So of course I can first apply the subdivisions and set up the cloth enhancement now, and it will create after the solidify. I always like it to have it afterwards. And now you see not much differences, but if we open it, cloth enhancement, we can again add more details depending on our normals and our wrinkles here. So depending on that, you can create more details if you want, or make it animatable like this. It will be slower because of more resolution, but it will like animate wrinkles and all that stuff. But we don't need this here. It's too much. It's all too much. We can smooth it out here if needed a bit. But the point I want to show you is here. We select again the swings and just add them here. And that's it. So we have small details, like you can push them outwards. Yeah, like this. We can turn off the wrinkles totally here. If we want to add details like here, I just want to have here and pull effect. We just hit this pull. And then we have this pull effect here. We can adjust it. We can add more details that way. And at the back, I just want here to have swing like this way, and here too, just. And then you have like a baseline of swings. If the topology allow it, of course. And then you got this fast effects here. So this is just the basics and the main features we have here. If I want to have more details, just make this. I just select them and hit skin tight. That's it. I can make it the same here. Skin tight. Then we have new object with shrink offset. And depending, of course, what you do, you can every time adjust the clothes however you want. So this is the main parts of sewing, modeling, add details, use skin tight, and draw cloth sets features. Of course, we can now add all other points if we have bigger, have added these details. We can go to sculpt mode and add the details here and there. It will all work by the geometry nodes section, so we can add more wrinkles here, and the cloth will not destroy it. So we have already the information here. We easily can turn off, turn on, and take it lower and higher depending on what you need. So here you will see, of course, more intersection. In some way we can turn off the solidify, and it's depending on what you need here too. So we can adjust our object in sculpt mode, and it will not destroy the sewings lines what we have here. We can, of course, turn them on and off like this, so we can give him more details if needed. So I like to make it like this. And then we have more details, but this is too much. This is all too much. So I hope you understand how it is created and how to use it. So from here we have fully control to adjust our cloth without redoing it completely. So we can push and pull and all that stuff and create nice objects. So this is just very showcase. I like to use this here. Scale it up a bit and test it here. Yes, there are some other points, of course. If we have like all these parts, like we have a tube or a hard surface object like this. It's ultra subdivided, and I want to have here till here clothings. We just can use it without creating SimplyCloth. We go in edit mode, go in the section separate selection to cloth. It will be like selection to cloth directly. Triangulate selection, yes or not. You will see here what will happen. If I click here, it will create directly cloth from it if needed. If I have higher resolution and I make like rotate faces here, I can do the same and it will create a different version of it. And if I want to triangulate them, it will give more details directly. So you can easily go here and perhaps select these pants. And I want to apply this all. It's not, make it like this bit bigger just for now. And some specialized parts should be closed. I just select go here and here and tell him, hey, make clothes from it. So you can create very fast pockets that way. So I can make from here to here without triangulated. Yes. So it's all possible depending on what you need, of course. So let's try it from here. If I have here a specialized pocket. Yes, it is not collide with this object, but this is fine. And yes, you can adjust it to your needs. I think with this starting video, you can create clothing very fast if you understand them. And I will show you the other features like bending and what we have else here. The other features in how to create specialized clothings, I will show you in a different video. But I think here you have the most of the understanding how to use and how to do the clothes in Blender with SimplyCloth Pro. So thank you very much. If you look at this video, it's not perfect because I make it totally intuitive now, so sorry for my language, but I think you will understand the main points in this, in the feature list and in the workflow list, how to work with. And of course I will show you how to use the pins, parts and all the other stuff, but in a different video. I think that's it. I wish you the best and only the best and a happy new year. It's recorded in year 23. So if you're watching it in January or 24, you will notice it's the version from 2023 and December with the SimplyCloth Pro version 3.1. All the best and only the best. Bye.